That being said, most of the people around me in medicine said, whoa, why would you stop being a doctor to earn no money and go over to this uncertain territory of being an elite athlete?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about being retired. How do you like it?
Yeah, I'm meant to be asking you questions.
Well, I'm just interested to know.
It's tough. Like retirement. I went on nearly 20 years, so I didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
So what I found probably the toughest was hanging the bike up was tough, and then scratching my head thinking, what am I going to do next? And I wanted to do it, be the best.
Yeah, of course.
This is what I knew.
Yeah.
So that's probably been the toughest, just finding that right thing. So
just being good at things instead of not being the best in the world.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's a challenging mindset to get past. Yeah.
And just, I suppose, just starting from scratch again. Using obviously the skills that I've learned over many years to push every day. And as a cyclist, my goal was very simple. I raised the bar there when I was 8. I wanted to go to the Olympic Games and win gold. So every day I woke up, that was my goal.
Incredible.
That was my dream.
Yeah.
So, but I've just got it's about just resetting those goals and in general life.
I did a triathlon in second year med school. Yeah. And I had a great time. It was terrifying. It was the first bike I'd ever ridden, so I was 19 and had never been on a bike.
A short tri would have been a short
one?
Yeah,
it was something like a 500 swim, 12k bike and 5k run. And I was so scared about taking my hands off the handlebars, and I had a downshifter on. This is like back 400 years ago. Yeah. And so I didn't want to change gears because I was so nervous to take my hands off the handlebars. I couldn't even do the U-turn. Like, I had no skills at all. No, I just bought the bike the week before because I thought, how hard can it be? To go from there to being on this beautiful, S-Works Shiv that I ride, TT bike, it's a bit of a transformation, But I think perhaps I liked applying the idea of how good can I be at this thing? If I keep training and working hard, how good can I get?
You're the workhorse. You're on a week tour, or how long it is. Yeah, you've been in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, one of the things that comes to mind is I went over into China and did this tour in 2009 with this sort of composite hodgepodge sort of team, run by a guy from Brisbane called Marcel, and he owns a bike shop there, and he's been a long time supporter of women's cycling. So he put together this group of women to go over and race this tour against some very good teams. And who should be in our team but this young brat of a sprinter called Chloe Hosking, who had ever heard of her? She went to Junior Worlds and she raced a bit on the track. Anyway, that girl is crazy fast, as you know, and she's gone on to some great results, went to London Olympics, very, very quick. But at the time, she was, she's really young, and I realised something about myself when you talk about selfishness. I think all athletes are selfish in different ways. I'm very selfish in other ways. From that, I haven't won as much as you, but one of the things that I got a lot of pride out of was facilitating her wins. Yeah. And so on a really horrible day with terrible weather and very difficult conditions, and her puncturing and me giving her a wheel and fighting back through a convoy and a lot of aggressive, bigger, more powerful teams trying to block us out, her going on to not only win the stage but then win the tour overall, I felt completely responsible for that. I felt like I am part of something great. Cool. I helped a great person get to the point where she gets to just do her thing. For the first 99k of a 100-kilometre race, all our job was to protect her. Yeah. And then from 1k to go, I was good for nothing. I was driving the bunch till 1k to go, and then I was out the back, and then she was fantastic and just won the sprint. But don't you think that comes into the psyche of a sprinter, and then even more so with a male sprinter, if it's about aggressive, threatening behaviour, intimidation basically. I'm prepared to go there, are you prepared? And we've seen that in some of those bunch sprints in the Tour de France where guys saying, actually, I'm going to put my balls on the line and go there, and it seems to me that I'm braver than you, and so therefore I win.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's it. Some are willing to do that.
Yeah.
No chance. There's a lot of women's races on the calendar, so you'd have to be pretty pumped.
Oh, it's great. We've got 10 races in the Women's National Road Series this year, and many of them are held in conjunction with the men's races as well, which makes it logistically easier for the race directors. the fact that Cadell Evans said, no, there must be an elite women's race to accompany the men's race. He says there's a demand for this stuff. It's important. This is how we develop sport in all ways. And absolutely, it's brilliant. Yeah. I think too, when people have watched, say, the Olympic road race, when they saw Marianne Vos and Armitstead ride the way they did, they thought, wow, this is incredibly competitive, passionate, aggressive racing, same as the men's racing. And sometimes even more interesting, you know?
Exactly. But that's it, the days, okay, you'd think that a lot of, women's sports are professional, but really, they've got to work.
Well, all the women in the Southern Stars cricket team have all got jobs. And
but even like, you talk about netball, Liz Ellis, like, it's only been recent that, those...
She said she retired just before it went professional, so she was getting paid almost no money to do something she was the best in the country at. So it is a challenge, and certainly I think that's one of the terrible things about doping scandals in cycling. It's had a very negative impact on women's cycling, because people ask me this all the time about doping in women's cycling, and I say, women don't dope most of the time. Because they can't afford it. It's not because we're more pure and perfect than men are. If we were getting paid €1 million a year, then sure, we'd start thinking, hey, how can I be better, faster, whatever.
In a position to...
Exactly. You're in
but also the support network, the doctors and the... But it is, and the guys, it's a big business.
Oh, it is. It's ruthless. And there's, for every boy in every pro Conti team that's wants to be clean and do the right thing, there are 15 other boys that will say, hey, I just want to get out of this position and be in that position. And there's so much depth in men's road cycling. When I was in Italy living there, I would often go to junior men's races to use for training, which was quite hilarious, because the Italian junior men's racing committee would always make you do a gear rollout, even though you don't ride on junior gears because you're an old woman. But anyway, so I'd show up, it'd be just some 130k road race around Varese, maybe near where I was living. There'd be 150 boys, like 16, 17-year-olds. They're all thinking, I'm going to be the next Ivan Basso. And this is just in one region, and it's every weekend, 150. So the depth of it's the same here, in footy and cricket and junior league, that there are just so many people pushing the quality up, yet it's a pretty ruthless industry. And if you're out, then that's it, sorry, no more team.
Well, you've only got to look at, I read yesterday, I think it was, about the, in the junior development ranks of AFL with the, ice. And the people, coaches pushing it on.
It doesn't surprise me, I mean, we're seeing that in medicine in general. The illicit drug use, whatever is the cheapest and most accessible becomes the thing. And friends of mine who work in the emergency departments in regional areas say it's a terrible, terrible problem. And then the fallout of that, of robbing your own family or whatever people do to get. I think that's what I mean about the focus on elite performance in Australia. That if some boy's thinking he has to take ice when he's playing in the Bendigo League or Ballarat League just to maybe get looked at to get a VFL spot or an AFL spot, what is this saying about?
It's lost. It's lost its way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why role models in sport that are intelligent and well thought out, like David Pocock, rugby union player, when guys like that speak out, or really smart women speak out, you think, thank goodness, there are really good, brave, important people in sport, and the more that they speak out about stuff, the more people think, okay, it's possible to be a kind, sensible person and be an elite athlete.
Bridie, thank you very much for your time.
Great to talk to you, Shane.
We certainly covered some great topics there.
We've changed the world one hour at a time.
We have. And all the best for this coming season.
Thanks.
And your role with the team as, many hats that you've got to wear. And get back on that S-Works and crank it up.
Thanks, I will do. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you.
Thank you.